Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cold Case Files, a Rime of the Frostmaiden live play campaign from the new Dungeons and Dragons module. My name is Rob MacPherson, and I'm going to be the dungeon master of this campaign. And it is a horror thriller type setting, in case you are unaware of this new module, and we're going to have some fun in the cold north. Now, to set the mood to get us started for tonight. North of the spine of the world, and west of the towering, ragged glacier, is a frigid expanse few dare to explore, let alone inhabit. This icy land of windswept tundra recently became locked in a perpetual, dark winter without reprieve. Auril the Frostmaiden, the divine embodiment of winter's fury, has withdrawn to this cold corner of the world to live among mortals. Further, she has cast a terrible spell over Icewind Dale, the detriment of most of its denizens. Speaking of its denizens, our adventurers begin as they make their way north of the spine of the world, stumbling onto one of the 10 towns that make up Icewind Dale. Without further ado, I introduce to you your adventurers.
Hi, my name is Greg Mahoney, and I will be playing Edgar Clerval, the Halfling Artificer.
My name is Kerrie, and I will be playing Mona, the human warlock.
My name is Joe, and I'll be playing the Elven Ranger Hauke Coldleaf.
My name is Shawn Rucker, and I will be playing the Dwarven Artificer, Meena Strongheart.
I apologize, we're just having a little bit of technical difficulty. Give me 1 second, and I
I
apologize.
cast
Kerrie.
darkness, apparently.
Yes, Kerrie has already cast darkness.
Thank you, Shawn, for all this. Your last name, the rest of you are going to make me a weirdo. Just doxed myself online.
There we go. All right. Kerrie, you've joined us.
Oh, okay, there she is.
I blame Skype. All right. So, tonight we begin our adventure as we make our way north into the frigid expanse of Icewind Dale. Our adventurers had briefly met each other when coming across a group of awakened creatures within the mountains of the spine of the world. And they've been asked to help Mother Tusk on a brief mission, and in exchange they would be guided safely through these frigid passes. Already having their lives saved from an avalanche by this benevolent overseer, they agreed and helped her out. And as such, they've made their way just north of the spine of the world, and the winter weather presses in around them, making their way north. Is there anything that you would all like to do as you start to trounce through the snow and wind in the near twilight light that you see around you, which is interesting because, Hauke, you seem fairly certain that it's about noontime by your estimations, and yet the light is no brighter than you're used to at about 8 o'clock at night. The temperatures have warmed since the twilight began, at least. You're no longer suffering negative 40-degree weather. It's now a nice balmy negative 20 degrees. Luckily, another thing that was gifted to you by Mother Tusk was a nice set of cold weather gear for each of you. Something that I feel most of you are feeling is quite important as the winds pick up and bite at your faces.
A little bit.
In the wintry tundras.
Automatic saves against the effects of the super cold.
Yes. Luckily for you, you do not seem to be suffering any ill effects from from the cold weather, you just are able to pull your hoods down a little bit closer and around your face, tuck up some of those scarves up a little bit closer. So as you make your way north, the first thing that you come across is a river. Frozen, solid.
How solid?
How do you want to check? You like to
Probably investigate.
want to do investigation? Go ahead, roll me an investigation. First roll of the campaign. Let's see how this goes.
Not well, guarantee it. Yes. 5. Oh, no,
No,
7.
it's a 7. You have a +2. Don't sell yourself short. So with a 7, you take a look at it, and you can say with confidence that, yep, this is quite
All right, let's go.
it's quite solid ice. I'm going to share with you all the map of the 10 towns, because as you were traveling up here intentionally, I imagine that you would have all come prepared. Maybe I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. And if so, you feel free to close the map and ignore it.
So where would you say close to Ten Trail? I think I see a river that runs along to Dugan's Hole and Goodmead.
If somebody would like to give me a survival check, maybe we can find out a little bit closer to where we are.
I can do that.
In fact, I'm going to go ahead and reveal to our audience what you all are seeing on the battle map. I'm going to fix Joe's camera because I saw just his forehead. There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being patient during our growing pains as we deal with this.
Right.
24. So, Hawk, you step out towards the river, and the wind dies down, almost as if by your will of force, because of your knowledge of the tundra, and you're able to get a good look around you. And although it is dark, your elf eyes are able to see a little bit further than others, and you can tell that, yeah, just off to your right, you are fairly certain there is a large body of water there, probably about half mile away, maybe as much as a mile. It's a little bit difficult to tell, but by that estimation, you can tell that you are somewhere in this vicinity. Ignore the thing telling you that it's only 5 feet. Clearly, this map is not to scale.
All right, well, I'm gonna just start crossing.
So that body of water, red water, is, that you pointed out on the map, will that get us closer to where you were taking me, to East Haven?
Yes.
Seems as
That's right along the way. The river leads directly to it, but how safe it is, I'm not sure.
You're not
Before
sure
we go
that
any further, might I ask your names? I know I met Meena before we ran into you two.
Hi, Hauke, Coldleaf.
Hawk, nice to meet you.
My name is Edgar Clerval, and we've met. Meena, you said, and your name is?
Oh, yes, Mona is my name. Just Mona.
Just Mona. All right.
All right, and Mona.
Well, Hawk is taking me to, well, East Haven as far as he can take me, or as soon as he can get me there. If you would like to follow us back to civilization, that would be amenable. You in particular might want to see a doctor.
What?
You might want to see a doctor. You got hit fairly decently hard on the head.
Yeah.
And the the treatment I gave you it's a temporary measure. It won't treat anything underlying it. I don't have any equipment with me to check for sort of underlying hidden conditions. So, yeah, if you can find someone well equipped.
All right. Well, I was going. So let's go. And Meena starts walking again.
So you're going to set off
On the
onto
ice
the
river?
frozen river?
Yeah.
All right, as you step out
Careful.
onto the ice.
Careful.
So would you say that you're taking it at a half speed, as if you're sneaking
Yeah.
across? All right, then I'm going to give you your dexterity save at advantage.
Excellent. I knew that was gonna happen soon. Dex save with advantage. Smart. Yeah. Oh, thank goodness.
That advantage seems to have saved you from a little bit of a chill. So as you start walking across, at one point your foot slips just a little bit, and you're fairly confident of your path based off of your investigation. But your toes just break through a thin spot, giving doubt to your certainty. But you do manage to make it across, and it's not a small river. This is probably about 400 or 500 feet across, depending on exactly where you've crossed. So you managed to make your way across safely. However, is anyone else following, Meena?
I'm going to look to Hauke and say, she was hit on the head quite hard. Is that the safest course of action to just across the ice?
No.
No,
No, but
over there watching you guys.
see, she's fine.
No, I know
We're
she's
fine.
fine. I mean, for us, is it going to be safe for me to cross that river?
It's a good question. Probably not.
Good.
Rob, is there a
Yes.
path that we can follow on land of following parallel to the river?
So, yes, based off of your knowledge and of your map, you've got a couple of options. If you want to avoid the river entirely, then you would be headed west towards 10 Trail, which would set you back about 10 miles of travel just to get to the trail where you think there would be a bridge across, or you know there would be a bridge across, I should say, being the main path that leads into 10 Towns. If you were to head east, you know that it opens up into Red Waters, the pond, the large lake actually there. So are you just trying to seek a non-icy way across?
Are we going across, or are we going...
Meena has
Along
gone
it.
across.
Oh, okay.
Could
So
I?
to get to the towns, yes, you will have to cross the river one way or another. There is no around. The Red Run River stretches all the way from the Sword Coast, approximately 60 miles inland, probably 100 miles inland to the Ragged Glacier.
The fastest way
Would I-
would be to cross, like Meena did. Or we can add another 10 days and go back a ways to 10 Trail and catch the path there. I say we risk it.
Would I?
I should be fine.
What do you have to say, Mona, about this?
Would I be able to use mold earth to create a way for us to cross, or is that too?
That would be good for a short distance.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I would say this river being about 500 feet across is probably a little bit vast for that idea.
A little ambitious.
Yeah. But good
A
thinking.
very
All right.
thin-
Well.
Oh, speaking of ambition and just clever ideas, however, I'm going to be starting off this adventure using Adventurers League's rules, which means that you each have inspiration to begin, and I am marking those on your sheets now.
Mm.
So
All
for
right,
those
well,
viewers who may not know, inspiration is when they can re-roll a d20, and I do a house rule variant of that. I do not make them call their use of inspiration before they use it, because really, what D&D player thinks that far ahead?
Not it.
All of them.
Maybe you, Joe. Maybe you.
Yeah.
we,
Joe's sensitive.
we say,
I'm-
as Meena is, I assume, playing cards with herself across the river.
Oh, no, I'm setting up camp. I don't think they're going to be here anytime soon.
You're going to start setting up camp?
I hate to leave her there. I hate to leave her there by herself, but I think I'm gonna trust the man who appeared to manipulate the nature around us to make this call. So I think I'll follow you.
So, yeah, I'll start crossing, and if I'm able to help them out with balance or whatever,
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll
Due
be able
to
to
this
do that
being
too.
your favored terrain and there being in your group, I'm going to go ahead and give everyone advantage on this dexterity save as they cross the river. Or dexterity check. No, I said save before. I'm sorry. So yes, save. Mona, you can go ahead
save,
and roll
sorry.
that one more time. And it's at advantage too, so.
Do I add the advantage to that? Sorry.
Your save and check happen to be the same modifier, so I will just take those two rolls as your advantage roll.
Okay.
So.
Oh boy.
Oh. Someone just.
That was me who beefed it.
But luckily you dropped that. So as you're making your way across the river, on several occasions, both Mona and Edgar almost just bite it and fall right through thin ice. And Hauke, without even really thinking about it, just reaches out and just grabs them. And just like under the arm here, by the scruff of the coat there.
Step here,
and just
step here. Don't step there.
yeah, and it takes a couple
yeah.
minutes longer than it would have taken you, Hauke, but you do manage to get across, and you see that that Meena, thank you guys for that, happen to start clearing off some of the snow around a large fallen log. Not knowing how long it would take, she seems to have decided that perhaps having a camp ready for you was wise, but it doesn't seem to have taken that long. I'd say this whole trek took about an hour for you.
Okay, good.
So it is still early afternoon, but again, looks like twilight.
Shall we follow the river?
Um,
I think that's a good idea.
yeah.
That's a yes.
And
Edgar, are you going to be cautious about everything?
no, I'm simply weighing our options. So Hawk, if we follow the river, will it take us directly to East Haven, or will it possibly take us to a town first where we can resupply and get Meena's?
So,
Fine.
where we are, can I see the river going up to Dugan's Hole and the river also going to East Haven?
So you can definitely. I assume that you have a map.
Yeah, I have the map up.
Yeah. So with no, I mean that you have a map on your person, not that you have the digital map in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
So yes, between the fact of what you just crossed and your nature knowledge, yes, you can assume that the river does exactly what you see on the map.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be
So,
a very
shorter
smart assumption.
distance, potentially safer, would be to go to Dugan's Hole, which is north. We can also continue east to East Haven, but that would take much longer.
Just
I
a
gotta take
point,
probably what?
just a
Exhausted
point
and
of
think-
order, because the map is a little bit blurry on here. So it is not just the river Red Waters where it's labeled as an entire lake, and you guys are just north of that, right? Of the river right now. You're right about there.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
So you would have to
It's
go through
south-
Dugan's Hole to get up through Goodmead and on to East Haven at the place you're going right now.
Mm.
Well, I don't see any point in us not going through Dugan's Hole.
Yeah, I'd say we go to Dugan's Hole, mostly because this one needs help. Medical attention.
I agree.
I'm fine.
Like I said, it's not immediate medical attention you need. It's a possibility of something worse that might have happened. As someone with some experience, I would like to recommend you see someone about.
All right.
It's also a good idea to rest not in the middle of the tundra.
And as Hauke says
Yes.
that, the wind picks up again, and visibility drops from about a quarter mile down to about 200 feet or so.
Great.
So are we moving on?
Yeah, we'll head to Dugan's Hall.
So, travel is slow in this terrain. Even for you, Hauke, it's not as slow as it could be, but it's even you're noticing that it's a little bit more annoying than you would like it as you start to move northwards along the river. And are you staying along the river's banks, or are you headed inland and trying to just like cut off that bulge of land there? What's the plan?
Probably whatever I would think is fastest.
Sure. So why don't you go ahead and give me a survival check with advantage? Because you're weird and you like the snow. Ooh. All right. So you take a quick look, and the snow actually... Second. The snow looks better along the if you were to cut away from the river, actually. There seems to be some ice blowing away from the river that seems to have made that like a slick of, that hard-packed snow where you go to step on it, and even though you're a full-grown adult, you still slip and fall on your ass. Yeah, it looks like that, but as you get away from it, it looks to be more of a powder.
Okay, we'll go that way.
Meena also has snowshoes on.
Oh, you do have snowshoes. Does anyone else have snowshoes?
Meena thought ahead.
No. Edgar is, I think, waist deep. Like.
So yes, Edgar, you are less than pleased with this because you feel like if you could have like skated on top of that icy snow. But yeah, you take one step off of that icy snow and you're like up to here. And like,
Edgar, would you like me to carry you the rest of the way?
I can walk quite well, thank you.
Are you sure?
All right.
I am sure.
You don't need two members of the party needing medical help.
Says the dwarf who towers a whole 6 inches taller than you.
I currently tower 3 feet over him because I'm on top of the snow wearing snow.
Fair point of order.
That's
fair. So you will note, Meena, that you're having a far less difficult time with this snow than everyone else seems to be. But are you sticking with the party, or are you just kind of ducking it? All right, so you're gonna.
I'm not gonna take off.
Sure. So it's slow going. I will say that Hauke being able to kind of guide you guys a bit through the best of the drifts and around the worst of them. Edgar, you seem to stay at only about waist height most of the time, instead of completely chest deep. But you find yourself making progress, but it is very, very slow progress. And the afternoon wanes on, and luckily the weather holds for you. It comes to be, again, it's hard to tell, but probably somewhere around 6 o'clock. And at this point, you feel you've made it about maybe 2 miles. It is very slow going. So based off of the map and the fact that you are cutting it right off, I will say that if you push right on, you would be able to get to town right about 8 o'clock. Barring anything going wrong on the way, or you can, it's about 6 o'clock now, and it is dark. It is very dark out now. It is what you expect to see at about midnight. Or you can go ahead and make camp here and begin tomorrow. Choice is yours.
I'd like to try something.
Sure. Dangerous words from an artificer.
Yep.
Everyone, if we could stop for just a moment. I have an idea that might make our going slightly less slow. And I'm going to try, if I can, to sort of build a contraption involving some tubing that I likely have from my Alchemist's kit, a bellows, and a flask of Alchemist fire. So basically, what
Are you making a flamethrower?
Yes.
No, I am not. I am making a siphon suction, essentially air gun. So I want to be able to use the bellows to push
kind of
air
blow
across the top of the Alchemist's fire,
flame.
bringing a little bit up and sprinkling a bit of Alchemist's fire ahead of us with each squirt of the bellows, so that it'll
Melts a
drop some
path.
fire on the.
Sure. Why don't you go ahead
I
and...
assist him, since I am also an artificer.
Perfect. So yeah, Edgar, as you start going ahead and making this, Meena, yep, that's never going to stop happening. Meena comes over and starts helping you out, and just like mostly at this point, like handing you tools because she knows exactly what tools you're looking for, and maybe like a little bit of hint here, a little bit of hint there. But you seem to be playing well together. So let's go ahead, and I know we discussed how we were going to do tinkering checks. So this is going to be a dexterity-based one. Do you remember how we decided we were doing this? Because your DM does not.
Would I be able to use intelligence instead of dexterity?
Yeah, I'll allow that.
Okay.
It's just
And
tools with dexterity, right?
Yeah, so it's
I don't need to do anything.
and
That's it.
you are proficient in tinkering tools, yes?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Tinkering.
So it'll be your intelligence mod plus your proficiency modifier plus a d20.
All right. I feel like when Meena starts handing me tools, like out of instinct of people trying to assist me and going wrong, like the first time she goes to hand me one, I go, no, not that one. No, actually that one. And like just like slowly getting used to the idea of her knowing what I'm trying to do, and then starting to really welcome her her help with it. So
yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll that at advantage since Meena is helping you.
And that's intelligence with proficiency.
Intelligence, proficiency, d20 at advantage.
I think I did it. No, I drag it over. That's how it works.
Hey! Greg, I thought you were
One.
building a snowmobile.
That would be amazing and much more Eberron than Forgotten
With
Realms.
the bellows.
So yeah, it takes you probably about a half hour to do because it's not an easy task you're looking to do. But with Meena's help, you're able to come up with this contraption. And so Hauke and Mona, how do you react to these two just diving full blown into nerd building contraption in the middle of a snow-swept tundra?
I'm shivering, but also trying to keep my hands steady so I can very carefully draw what they're doing because I find it very fascinating and
excellent.
impressive.
You have some
Oh,
fans.
I'm just staring.
I imagine if wristwatch existed, then Hawk would be going like this.
It's more like I'm less concerned of how well it's made. Like I don't really care how well it's made or anything like that. I'm more concerned about like the trees nearby and if they catch fire or anything like that.
Sure. Well, luckily for you, as of where you are right now, there's no trees.
Good.
And you figure there's probably some brush, but with the snow the way it is and the fact that the sun is not out and does not seem to be coming back anytime soon, it seems to be well and truly buried.
Yep. So, yeah, I'm just watching and...
Excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and say that instead of the next 2 hours for that to take, it's only going to take you guys about an hour to get the rest of the way to the first town.
Nice.
As you are making...
Ooh!
But you did it with fire.
I did do it with fire.
Greg, is this just going to be a normal thing where every time you're live streaming, you're just going to knock your camera off?
I didn't scream fuck this time.
It's true, you didn't.
There you go.
So, as you are making your way along, and this contraption by Edgar, who is now in the lead, as opposed to every once in a while having to be picked up out of an especially deep snowdrift. There are still times that like you're going through deep slush at this point, but it definitely makes things a lot easier for you as you move. It is burning through your Alchemist's fire at quite the rate, so you feel that this is a great solution, but possibly not your go-to solution for moving throughout all of Icewind Dale. And as you approach what you can see off in the distance, and Hauke, you're the first to notice it with your perception. You are noticing that there seems to be a very small village up ahead. And as you get closer and closer, I need everyone to roll me a perception check, please.
Oof.
Oh, goodness.
Ah!
You're very busy, Edgar. That, and I imagine giggling at the fact that your contraption is working.
I'll get there eventually.
That's fine.
I'm just thinking of ways I can improve it. And like,
Yep.
Perception. Wait.
also I feel like the Alchemist fire fumes are not helping my eyes or cognitive ability right now.
Yeah. No, you are
Disadvantage.
you're not feeling your best right now. There's definitely a lot of chemicals in the air around your face. But yeah, you're doing well. So, Mona, you see, just briefly, two large, dark shapes just on your peripheral vision, just to the east of you, west of you, dart by, quickly. Almost too quick for you to have seen it, but you're certain there was movement there.
Can I send my Raven to scout the peripheral area around us?
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you go ahead and I'm going to give you another perception check with advantage this time.
So do I click advantage at the bottom before I roll? Okay. So figure it out.
No worries.
She's got it.
Nice.
Fly, baby, fly!
So, the Raven at first looks at you like, it's fucking snowing, really? Really?
Like,
And then, like,
please.
you watch as the shoulders of a bird slump a little bit, and then it takes off and it flies. And
love
after a few minutes, because you get the sense that, and remind me, you can't, can you see through the Raven's eyes, or can you only telepathically communicate with the Raven? I think it's the second.
I believe it's the second. I can check.
Well, for the sake of this, we're going to go with that, and then if that changes, we'll change that in the future.
Gotcha.
For the RQ Raven, you can see through its eyes and telepathically communicate with it.
Oh, perfect. So
it functions just as a familiar.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, as the Raven is flying, you catch sight after about 5 minutes of these shapes again, and they are very stealthily moving, and they are very at home here, and they are two very large wolves. They don't seem to be stalking you, but they did seem to notice you were there.
Okay. As we're going through the snow and there's fire and fumes blaring in front of us, I try to shout over the wind and say, did anybody else see any shadowy figures surrounding us? I'm very nervous that we're being followed, perhaps.
The Alchemist's fire is giving off some smoke.
I like how Edgar just assumes you've gotten high.
Smoke signals.
I don't think that's what she's talking about.
I thought I saw something out of the corner of my eye. My Raven just went out, and I think that they're wolves around us, so I'm just wondering how soon, Hauke, you believe we might be getting to the village.
Rob, how close are we to the village?
Probably only
Oh, yeah,
about,
sorry.
at the current rate you're moving, probably only about 10 minutes more. You're very close at this
Oh,
point.
okay. Okay. We got about another 10 minutes till we get to Dugan's Hole.
And as soon as Hawk points it out, you actually, as he gestures to this, what he sees as a town, the rest of you all of a sudden see, oh, that's not just a rock up there. That is a town. Well, town might be a strong word. It's a settlement at least.
It's a hovel.
Yes,
good hovel.
that is a very apt description of what you are seeing. And as you make your way closer and closer, you see a small town, maybe 24 buildings. But the first thing you see as you approach, just on the southern edge of town, are 20 huge standing stones. 19 of them shaped somewhat like a triangle. And then another one standing proud in the center.
That's interesting.
Hmm.
And as you approach, you see that they are huge stones, and they are made of granite. Nobody seems to be here. There doesn't seem to be any markings on these stones, any other indications of what they are, aside from a triangle of stones.
May I take a closer look and see if I can discern the meaning or if there's anything significant about these stones?
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and give me a... Well, what kind of... what brand of your knowledge are you seeking to...
Yes.
Are you looking for arcane roots? Are you looking for religious roots?
I'm wondering if there's any arcane significance
Sure.
to the formation of these stones.
Perfect. Go ahead and give me an
All right.
Arcana check then. So you pace around these stones. You do notice that there's definitely a path around here, as if people have moved about in here. It's not like an abandoned monolith. In fact, it's only about 100 feet away from the closest building. But after spending a few moments, nothing seems to ring any bells for you. Nothing seems to seem familiar in any way.
All right, I'll draw a quick sketch in my notebook and then rejoin the group.
Sure.
I'm now keeping an eye out for any shadow creatures.
Absolutely.
Good plan.
So as you make your way, well, actually, I should ask you, are you making your way into the town now that you are at the edge of it, the outskirt of it?
I mean, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't enter Dugan's Hole.
So, phrasing.
Greg, you've been waiting 2 weeks to say that, haven't you?
Right?
It's been so hard not to. You talked about the bulge in the earth outside, in front of Dugan's Hole. There were so many times that I had to fight.
I kept looking at you to see if you were cracking a smile during all of that.
No, I was stone-faced for so long, and it hurt.
You were.
Yeah.
It hurt my soul.
You were solid.
So we see the buildings. We see the kind of the outlay of the town. Do we see any movement, civilization, or signs of civilization, or signs of?
You definitely see there are lights on in some of the buildings. You do not see any people outside, however.
Okay.
Do we see any sort of tavern or anything? Any obvious non-house?
From where you are, you do see one fairly large building somewhat in the middle, well, actually, almost dead set in the middle of town, right by the docks. In fact, as you go ahead and enter the town, which I assume is what you are all doing now.
Yes.
Yes.
You do see that it is a very, very small cluster of dwellings, and the closest homes are within about 100 feet of the edge of the Redwaters Lake. And the first 100 to 200 feet of the lake is actually still frozen. And then it does break apart into open water. You do notice that around the two piers there are docks. And the shorter of the two docks has actually been just ice has bound around it and actually broken through and made it completely unusable. In fact, you can see half of a rowboat kind of sticking out near the dock. The other half, you assume, is either long gone or somewhere in the depths, or possibly just behind that frozen cube that's broken it. The longer of the two piers seems to be intact, but it does have two boats on the end, but they are completely frozen.
Never seen anything like this.
That is a very accurate assessment.
Thank you.
It's weird. Like, you can tell this is a fishing town. Those boats are used for fishing, and they're definitely not going anywhere. You do see out on the ice, somewhere on the water, from what it looks like, there are humanoid shapes standing there, still, silent.
That's not creepy at all.
Not at all.
I wonder if they're ice fishing.
Yeah, it's probably a large part of their economy, given that they've got boats and a dock and.
Yeah, sure. Ice fishing. Let's find a tavern. All right.
I agree.
Yes.
So as you go ahead and make your way in, I'm going to go ahead and share the town map with you all now. As soon as I click the right button, I am. Maybe. Possibly. All right. It's not letting me. Oh, I know why. Sorry, I'm being dumb. For those of you at home on the stream, I have many, many monitors open, with many different things open, and when you click on the wrong ones, it doesn't help you do things that the DM can do. There we go. So there is Dugan's Hole.
Right there.
There it
Right on the
is.
screen.
In all its glory.
Another note, this is not necessarily a kid-friendly stream. Hi, Coraline!
Is this the first disclaimer? I've already said fuck like twice.
Thrice.
No, this makes it twice.
So you are all headed towards. Your best guess is this was the building that I was telling you about. Is this one right here in the middle of town?
Right.
It appears to be one where there are still lights on inside, and there is the doors appear unlocked as best as you can tell as you approach.
All right. And out of curiosity, how far out were those people on the water?
Oh,
The
that's
lake, the frozen lake.
It's really, really, really hard to tell with all the moving snow and ice and everything, but you figure at least 500 feet out.
Okay.
Maybe
So
even further.
whatever this building is, it's locked.
No, unlocked, I said.
Oh,
Sorry.
should we knock?
Is there any signage out front? Or?
There does not appear to be any signage, no.
Strange. I think knocking wouldn't be a bad idea.
All right, who's good at this?
Knocking.
Who's good at knocking?
Knocking.
When they answer the door.
Oh.
talking to people. It's just I knock on the door.
You knock on the door.
Like a potato pasta.
So you go ahead and you knock. You hear some movement around inside, but nobody seems to come to the door.
Hello, we're looking for a place to stay for the night. It doesn't have to be here, but if you know of a place like a boarding house or an inn, a tavern, even someone who could lead us to an inn or a tavern.
Hawk, you hear with your perception, you do hear through the door. There's definitely people inside. There's some talking. A little bit more murmuring now that they're hearing voices from outside, but nobody seems to be answering you.
Are there windows?
There are. They are very frosted. Would you like to try to look through one?
I'll go around and see if I can notice any movement through the frosted glass.
Sure. So Hawk goes ahead and he takes a loop around the building, and there's you can see on the map the gables. There's a window under each one of those, and then the doors that you are at here are at this very end here. So you go ahead and you take a loop around and you peer through the window, and there's definitely movement inside. And it doesn't seem to be like scuttling movement or anything like nefarious like that. It just looks like there's people in there.
Can we not see because the windows are frosted?
Yes, they're very frosted over. So unless you want to try to scrape some of that frost off or wipe it away or something like that.
I would like to use prestidigitation to warm the window.
Sure. So Mona goes ahead and just places her hand against the windowsill, and the window pane warms up, and the water just kind of runs down off of it, and with it a very thick film of grime. You can tell these windows have not been washed, probably ever. And it's
Dugan's hole is very dirty.
Yeah, so you can. Oh, I'm glad this is a small town. So you do see as the window clears, there's. It doesn't appear like it's a tavern, by any of your definitions that you would see, but there's definitely some people in there sitting around and having a drink. You do also see along one end, the end closest to the water, so right along thereabouts, you do see it's like almost like a fish market in there. So this appears to be where a lot of the catch comes in from your best judgment. I would say that based on what you're seeing, you're guessing this is kind of like pretty much the closest equivalent to a gathering hall that this place probably has. It's a little bit of everything, and there are about 8 people inside that you can see.
All right.
So just go in.
I think it looks pretty friendly. I think we could probably go in and hope for the best.
Yeah, we could probably get some answers too. As to where we can stay for the night, because if this is a fish market, then I don't think we can sleep with the fish.
I just need to get out of the cold. I don't know about you.
So you go ahead and walk in?
Yeah.
Just
Who's going first?
Yeah.
Yeah, who is going first? That's a great question.
I'll go first.
Perfect.
I feel confident based on what I've seen.
Sure. So Mona, you go ahead and you push the door open, and as you push it open, you do hear it squeaks on its hinges quite loudly. And you walk in, and every eye is on the 4 of you as you step inside. And it is, even though it is frozen in here, somehow it still smells like week old fish. Yeah, it's a smell that you can't freeze out of a place, apparently.
Lovely.
And so you all walk in, and there appears to be along one wall a couple of kegs, and some like mugs sitting around, and there's a group of 4 different humans sitting around a. It looks like some sort of fisherman's trap, with like a board on top of it. That is their best approximation of a table, and they all seem to have a drink, and everyone's just kind of paused, and they're looking at you. Their features are very pinched and narrow. One of them, the woman who's at the table, her hair is very very thin and gray and wispy. Although her face doesn't seem ancient, it just seems weathered. You do notice that one of the men at the table who is sitting there, his eyes are not both quite focusing on you all at the same time. They're kind of just like wandering in their each different direction sometimes. And then there's a couple of other of these makeshift tables made out of various accoutrements that are sitting around. And everyone is looking at you all.
I have my scarf up over my nose because it's stanky.
Yep, and you're wishing it helped. No, it cuts the sharpest of the rank out.
While whatever dialogue is happening, I'm gonna be like fishing through my bag for some sort of herb or nice smelling oil I can put on my scarf.
Sure, why don't you go ahead and give me an investigation to see if you find something in this time? That seems like a fun use of skill challenges.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. So you managed to find like you actually find a bottle of little like a peppermint or something, and you're able to kind of dab it onto your scarf. And when you first wrap your scarf back around, have you ever actually put peppermint on something before you put it over your face to block out a smell?
Yeah.
The first thing that happens is you get punched in the face with peppermint, and then it's better. So imagine you walking into this tavern, and you have the demure Mona standing out in front, having just thawed the window, and Edgar draping a flamethrower of sorts by his side as he is trying to block out the scent, and Meena and Hauke just kind of like
with snowshoes on.
Yeah, exactly. You two actually look like you're doing pretty okay in this weather. So after a couple of do you say something?
Oh, I was going to say, since I'm out in front, first I try to fashion my hair over my raven to appear a little less unusual.
Yep.
And I say, so sorry to bother you, everybody, but we are but a group of friends traveling together, and we were hoping we could stay here for the night, or you could tell us if there's an inn nearby. We're in pretty rough shape.
You think we got in here? That's funny. And he slams back his drink.
I kind of shrink into myself and get embarrassed.
Well,
I'm here.
Is there anyone who might have an extra room or somewhere else we might be able to stay?
Well, I mean, there's the old nets back there that you can sleep on.
What a lovely offer. I'm gonna pass, guys.
It might be best to set up camp outside of town.
Well, we
don't get
no visitors here.
Agreed. Thank you for your hospitality, and we'll be going.
Would it be possible for us to rent this room for the night? You wouldn't have to leave, but would it be possible for us to give you some coin in order to sleep in here
So
tonight?
you say that, and one of the guys just like stands up straight as soon as you mention coin, and you see that he like fixes his shirt. It doesn't actually fix anything at all. In fact, it kind of makes it a little bit worse. And it's an ill-fitting shirt. As he stands up straight, you see it actually pulls up above his waistline a bit and shows a little bit of his very unwashed stomach. And he starts walking over to you all. And as he approaches, you do notice that he is, as I said, an interesting looking fellow, we'll say. Again, very pinched features. And as he smiles at you, you can't help but notice that all of his teeth, they're not like razor sharp, but they're faintly pointed in their appearance. And his eyes are just a little bit too beady for your liking. And
Can you do an insight check on this guy?
you absolutely can.
I just kind of want to see what the story is with him.
Sure. Yeah, 15. So yeah, you take a look at him, and I mean, he seems like, hey, I'm gonna get some money out of this, and at the same time, he seems like he has no power in this town whatsoever, but he's still gonna take your money and say that he does. But with that 15, I'll also give you that you look around, and you see a resemblance. Like everyone kind of looks pretty similar. Like not like clones or anything like that. But like you see some familial relations around this place.
Great. I'd like to not stay here, if that's all right with you. Edgar, let's not stay here. Please.
So you're looking for a room, mate? I can help you with that, okay? It'll be 2 silver, and I'll make up those barrels over there right nice for you. Do it myself. Pick something out of his teeth.
Excuse me, but we did notice that there appears to be some strange goings on in your town, things we've never seen before.
Who you
so I was
calling
wondering if
strange?
maybe
You're the
I
one
could-
with a raven with your hair all on it, and calling
no,
us
that's,
strange here.
Well, actually, we are a group of adventurers, so I was wondering maybe in
Notice he starts
exchange for
just-
lodging
his
for
pinky
free,
is going
we could
ahead
maybe
into
do
his
some
ear.
investigating.
Oh,
Adventure.
investigating what? Oh, you mean?
Oh, you know.
Oh, you. How did? He turns around to the 3 people who he was sitting with. He's like, "Ha! How'd they hear about that outside Duncan's hole? Huh? Wow, you guys are good investigators, huh? Well,
Yes.
well, we do. we have we have some trouble with some wolves around here.
Yeah, we saw those out there. Well, she did.
Ooh, oh, you saw, and you're still. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, we're hiring these guys. You guys got that copper I gave you last
We
week?
saw them. We saw them.
Uh,
We saw. We didn't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But they caught Syl and her lovely brother. What's his name? Oh, Finn the other day. And as he just like clearly his brain just stopped mid sentence, and it doesn't look like it's coming back anytime soon. And the woman he was sitting with just kind of sighs and stands up and walks over. And as she approaches, you can tell. Oh yeah, that brother sister, like standing next to each other, looking at you now, like clear as day, brother sister. And she just looks at you and she's like, yeah, those wolves. They said they're not going to give them back until we cough up a king's ransom for them. Food they want. And gold. What is a full form of gold?
The wolves asked for gold.
Yeah? They clear as day said we ain't giving those kids back until you give us food and gold.
Can we please go? We can deal with this tomorrow.
Well,
uh,
if you're interested, I would talk to the speaker. She'll be able to give you all the information you want.
Speaker.
Yeah,
thank
Speaker
you very
Dermu.
kindly.
Thank
And,
you.
Her,
I'm gonna
her
start.
place is up there, although you probably don't want to see it tonight. It's a wee bit late. Yeah, why don't you have some ale before you go? That's Granham's best ale.
Perhaps in the morning. I'm more of a morning drinker, and I'll grab Edgar, kind of by the back scruff, and start
Yeah, no,
escorting him out.
Great, thanks. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Nice meeting you.
the first guy that's talking to you. So you want me to make up your beds?
No,
we're
fine. We're gonna. We've got beds
All
with
right.
us.
All
I
right.
guess. All right.
So you guys just back
Okay,
out.
cool.
Do you head out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do notice as you leave those two, they don't actually leave the doorway from where they were talking with you the whole time that you're like backing out of the door and the door's closed, and they're both just kind of standing there and just looking after you.
The kids' names Syl and Lynn.
Finn, I think, was one of them.
Syl and Finn, yes.
Syl and Finn.
Phil and Finn.
S-I-L and F-I-N-N.
Syl and Finn.
Okay.
Sorry, Mona. You said to them that we're adventurers?
Well, I thought maybe they would give us lodging for free if we looked a little more official. I apologize for misspeaking.
No, that's fine. I just don't want you to get the right or the wrong idea of who I am. I'm not an adventurer. No,
I mean, I've never seen anybody produce a device that spouts flame. I've never seen anything like that.
Well, that's just a bit of innovation on a device that we used at the academy. We would use it to it's sort of an artificial lung for people who were undergoing surgeries on their lungs.
Artificial lung. I'll have to write that down. Thank you.
No problem. I just used.
For future,
combined
though,
that with siphoning. Sorry.
Edgar, for future, we should probably go by adventurers mostly because it's a better understood term. Something that people understand immediately,
Okay.
ideally. If they don't, then we'll go where we go with that. But
You're on an adventure now. You're an
more or
adventurer.
less,
I
at least till we get to our destination.
We are an odd-looking group, too. I think it would give people peace of mind.
We can also go by explorers if you want to go by explorer.
I mean, I'm not really doing exploring. I'm just going to
Edgar!
Haven to work. Yes.
You're on an adventure. You're an adventurer. That's how it works. Don't argue.
It's not exactly an adventure. I had some mishaps on my journey, but sure we'll
Just start setting.
We could be journeyers.
Mm.
It doesn't
word,
matter
but
what you
we can
call
make it a
us. I
word.
just don't want you to get the wrong idea of who I am.
That's fair. We understand that. These folk probably not.
We don't care.
Perfect.
So the
Alright, so
night
we-
is wearing on at this point.
As we go, like
You guys took some time exploring the stones, and you took some time making your way through the town, and it is wearing on late into the night at this point. What
I
would you
say we
like to
go a
do?
little bit outside of town and set up camp, so that way we're at least close enough to civilization that it's not going to be. If we need help, we can go get help.
Sure, northeast, or I guess northeast, northwest, or southwest, because southeast would be on the water, which I guess is an option,
Okay.
but
That kind of northwest area with the trees
Yeah, agreed.
there.
perfect. So you guys head off into that area, and you go ahead and set up a camp. Are you cold camping, warm camping? What's the plan?
Is warm camping possible in this area?
Well, you are by some brush, and you do have a ranger, so it's possible.
And a flamethrower.
And a flamethrower. And I mean, if you really didn't like the town, you could have a very warm camp.
It does frighten me. I will say I got a bit of a Deliverance vibe. Not a fan. Not a fan at all.
Not the most homey place in the world. I'll agree with that.
No, everyone treats each other like family. It's a very, very homely place.
I was going to say, it's a very homely place, actually.
We'll, say we set up camp. We'll do a warm camp because...
All right, go ahead and just give me a quick survival check to make sure that you can go ahead in this climate get a fire going in a reasonable amount of time.
Advantage? Not advantage.
No advantage, but this is basically a blunder check.
Don't fuck it up.
Well...
So yeah,
whatever.
It takes you about 20 minutes, and your face is turning a little red from embarrassment as you're doing this. But you finally do go ahead and you get a fire going, and the rest of the party doesn't seem to notice because I think they're still thinking about the sister cousin back there and how they're probably still staring in your direction if you had to guess. So yeah, you go ahead and you set up camp, and you have a nice little fire going, and you've cleared off some of the snow underneath these trees. Are you going to set up watches?
I am going to set up a device not far from the entrance to our camp,
Sure.
leading from the town towards us, wherever I think the most reasonable path might be for someone who would try to sneak up on us.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm gonna
What's
sprinkle
the device?
So the device is I'm going to take a somewhat large and fairly inert magnet, or an unactivated magnet with one of my devices attached to it, and attach that to a crossbow bolt and fire that at a tree branch above us.
Okay.
And then I'm going to sprinkle some metal filings on the ground, and then I'm going to lay a tripwire that goes across that area and connects to the crossbow bolt.
Okay.
This is the spell Snare.
Thank you. That was going to be my next question. Perfect. Gotcha. And then are you going to volunteer for a watch, or are you just going to snuggle up and go to sleep?
Oh, I don't do watches. I hired somebody for that. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, no, I'll do the first watch, and then I only meditate semi-consciously for 4 hours a day because I miss playing an elf.
Yes. Yes.
So I don't sleep. So I pretend to be asleep while Hawk is watching, but I volunteer to take the next watch.
As in, you choose not to sleep?
Pact of the Moon. I don't.
You don't
I
have
just don't
to sleep.
I don't have to.
That is just disturbing. And this is from
It's
the
a
guy
gift.
who is just role-playing cousin sisters. All right, noted.
Amazing fact.
You're just gonna go to sleep then.
All right, so
I like to pretend.
yeah. I'm sorry, Mona. You said you were going to take second watch as your plan.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and roll me a perception check, Hawk.
Okay.
21. So, with that high of a perception check, you're actually able to see off in the distance, just north of the trees. You do see some movement in the middle of the night, but being as adept as you are, you took a branch out of the fire and you were able to just kind of explore, kind of ward off, and you seem to have scared off anything. So your watch goes by, not uneventful, but undisturbed at least. Mona,
One way I can also start carving some sticks that I find into makeshift arrows.
Perfect. Mona, go ahead and give me a perception check, please, for your watch.
Mm-hmm.
So you're very distracted during your watch. This town has kind of gotten to you a little bit. and being called out so bluntly by somebody who has zero tact has gotten to you, and you. Many introverts out there will appreciate when I say you just keep replaying every word you said over and over and over
Oh,
and over
stop
again.
that.
But it comes to the end of your watch, and nothing seems to have taken advantage of that. Are you going to wake up Meena at this point, or are you going to wake up Edgar?
Um, Meena intimidates me a little bit, so I'm gonna wake up Edgar.
So Edgar, you are shaken awake. It is. I mean, it's pitch black out, but I mean, it's always kind of pitch black out. You feel fairly rested, actually.
I mean, it was 8 hours, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you say you wanted to take the third watch? My watch just ended.
Oh, no. I said that. I actually never said anything about a watch. I just kind of went to sleep. Hawk is supposed to be watching over us, right?
Hauke went to sleep. You can go back to bed. I'll keep watching. I'm feeling
Alright.
energized.
How long?
Off
how
to the
long-
side, you hear, "I'm not asleep. I can hear you."
All right, Hawk, take watch, please. I'm going to sleep.
Meena, you sleep wonderfully through the night.
Mhm.
So morning comes. Oh, actually, yeah, morning comes. And again, like you only get the sense that it's morning by how rested you feel, and by how far down the fire has burned. And Hawk, you have a sense of time being a wilderness ranger such as yourself. So morning is here.
I also don't sleep, so that helps too.
Is true.
Two people who don't sleep.
Hey,
That's
What?
handy.
One elf-like and one creepy.
Well
Sorry, did you
spirited.
say yes?
Yeah.
Did you say that it's always, is it always dark, or did I make that up?
Nope, it
It's
is.
always dark.
It always seems to be dark. You did notice that there was a
Okay.
time yesterday that
Less.
it was almost like twilight. It lasted
Yep.
about 4 hours, and then it resumed darkness again. So, Hawk, remind me. So you meditate for the 4 hours, and you're in a full trance. Like you don't see anything during that time, correct? Actually, yours was first watch, and you guys went to bed late, so I take that question back. Mona and Hawk, you actually both notice right around Hawk, you recognize it to be midnight, a beautiful green-blue aurora stretches across the sky for about 10-15 minutes before fading away.
Can I make a nature check?
Sure. There's really pretty lights in the sky.
Wow.
In the morning, I'm gonna carefully undo the tripwire and
And
pull
stash it here.
Sure.
Sure.
Pull everything down.
Perfect. So it is just on the brink at this point of twilight. Like you can just start to see beyond 10 feet in front of you for the first time all night. What would you all like to do? Actually, I know exactly what we're going to do. It is 9:45 at this point. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take a 15-minute break. And we will return at 10 o'clock to complete our adventure for the evening. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll be back in 15 minutes. And we're back. All right. So when last we left off, we had just gotten through a interesting evening outside of Dugan's Hole. And what you have missed in the downtime is the discussion of the party of whether or not they're going to go hunting for the wolves that are causing the problem, or possibly the town itself. So this might be an evil campaign. We'll find out in a few minutes. So, as I was saying, the twilight has begun again, giving you guys a little bit of a view of the world in front of you outside of town. Your fire is dwindling at this point as you let it die down for the evening, or for the morning. And the day is once again yours.
I'd say we head to the speaker's house and see if we can figure out where these children have been taken.
I agree.
Agreed. Let's go.
Wait, aren't we going to East Haven?
Not yet. We'll make it there.
What is East Haven? What's in East Haven?
My father's business. I'm supposed to go work there for a time.
Right.
Is your father still alive?
So you're
Yes,
going to the
he's
speaker's
alive.
house.
Perfect.
Excellent. We're walking.
So, as you guys start to leave the safety of the trees, you see coming from your east is a very large wolf. And it is limping. It's got the leg lifted up and its head very low to the ground and its ears back. Its eyes are skidding around. And it catches sight of you all. And it limps a bit faster towards you all. And you just hear, You! Please help! Please!
So many talking animals. Yes?
You don't even press. Okay.
I'm Meena's gonna be kind of standing at the ready.
Sure.
If these wolves told them that they weren't giving the kids back, I'm not putting it past them to Buffalo Bill this. So
sorry, and it takes him a little while to get to you. He was probably about 200 feet away from you when he first called out to you, so he's limping up to you. He's like, I've managed to escape. And he's constantly looking back over his shoulder the whole time and just looking around. Will you all help? Will you all help me? Help, please.
Slow down. First, have you had any interactions with a druid?
A druid? Yeah, long time ago, yeah.
Okay. Two,
It's good enough. Okay.
what can we do to help you? What do you need help with?
Well, my master, Garagai, mean old frost giant. He's kidnapped two of these poor townfolk's kids, and he's made me do horrible things. And he beats me and he kicks me, and I'm done with him. I'm done.
What was your master's name again?
Garagai.
Karagai.
Good spelling. Gary Guy. Got it.
Yes.
Gax, yes.
Can I see? I mean, as easily as I can tell if a wolf is lying,
Take check.
can I try to see if the wolf is lying?
Yes, you can.
I think if anybody's going to be able to, it's you.
Yeah, probably.
What would you like me to do? Still insight?
Yes, insight. These are
Okay.
awakened creatures. They act as normal.
My insight and animal handling are the exact same.
Oh, that was so close to a 20.
I was gonna say I saw the die and it was on its edge.
It was cocked, technically.
I agree with
not.
you, but Fantasy Grounds
Nah.
says otherwise. So
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
so yeah, you look at him and seems to be earnest with you. He seems to be fairly, not like horribly injured, but he's definitely not feeling his best.
All right, can I try to tend to his wound? Then?
Can I assist with that? I have training and
Absolutely.
She's probably do better with than I.
So, Hawk, you're going to help Edgar then? Is that the way you want to do it, or you want to take the lead and let Edgar help you?
I'll help Edgar.
All right, Edgar, roll a medicine check at advantage.
Yeah,
Very
our
nice.
ballots were processed. A random side note.
So yeah, you go up and you're looking at the leg, and you can't seem to think of anything that you could do to help it. Like, there's no break, there's no abrasions, there's not even any swelling that you can see. But as you do touch it, every once in a while he does whimper. So you kind of like take out one of your bombs and just kind of rub it on his. It's kind of like the Band-Aid trick with a toddler. You Band-Aid on, you're like.
Oh, I thought
There
you
you
meant
go,
like an
buddy.
explosive bomb.
No, balm. Balm.
I was
B-A-L-M.
like, Edgar!
Takes a bomb out, duct tapes it to the wolf.
Look, he's gonna drive me insane, but I don't want to make him blow up.
I don't use homemade medicines. I use medicines that were made in a factory. A bomb factory.
I mean, his leg
They're
won't hurt him
bombs.
anymore. So yeah, you manage to just kind of like again, and he, as soon as you do that, you notice he starts putting weight again on the. Yes, so if you, the prisoners, the back of Gara guys is hot, and if you follow me, I can show you where they are, and you can help get them out. You all seem very
Well-
sneaky.
What direction are we headed?
West.
All right.
That doesn't narrow it down at all, but
You're following me.
If I may ask,
Oh, yeah.
we were told that the wolves were taking people from the village. Do you know why your master would want to do something like that?
Because he's mean. That's why he's trying to. He doesn't want to go out and find his own food and his own treasure, so he gets the townfolk to do it for him.
What?
all right. Just before we go traipsing off after you into the middle of nowhere, what is your master, and how many others are there that we may need to deal with?
He lives on by himself. He's a frost giant.
Okay.
Frost giant?
Those are
Don't worry,
He-
he's very lazy. You won't have to do nothing with him. I'll show you the secret entrance, and you guys can get in and take the kids. They're all locked
I
up.
don't know.
Okay, so
I-
I know that yesterday we had a conversation about how I am not an adventurer. I would like to press that point right now with you three. I am not an adventurer. I am a doctor and a...
Well, as a doctor, you'd know it's probably not good for those kids to be in this cold. It is cold in that lodge.
And I'm a little suspicious. May I make a perception
It'll be an
check?
insight check, and yes, you can.
Insight check. Thank you. All right.
Seems to be on the up and up.
I don't trust it at all.
You have two of your party members who are assuring you that it seems to be on the up and up.
I am
Oh, so it's no
inclined
good to ask
believe
Hawk?
I believe Hawk, but I don't think I am the best suited for this situation. I will come with you, and if any of you need medical attention from outside of the Frost Giant's lair, I will assist you in that means, but...
Yeah? Yeah? Oh, good, because our guy's going to skin him and eat him if we don't get his ransom soon. It's this way! And he starts bounding off through the snow towards the west.
I mean, I suppose worst that happens is that
We all die.
I mean we'll have to fight either way, and I think we could probably handle it based on what we did in the cave with those wolves.
as long as it's just more wolves. Have
That
you
was
seen a
so-
frost giant?
Oh yes, I never mind.
I'm gonna hang back and kind of pull Mana to the side, and kind of whisper to where the wolf can't hear. Say, could you send your raven ahead
Yes.
and have it see if there's any danger while we're heading? Because this wolf seems on the up and up, but if he's whimpering and limping, I don't think he would have escaped so sneakily.
Very true. So I would like to send my raven to scout ahead.
Perfect. So are you guys going to start moving as you do this? So this is going to on the move type of thing, or are you staying put and sending the raven out and then making a decision?
I was thinking we'd
I think-
like follow, and the raven would kind of
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
like
So yeah,
the raven would be ahead of the wolf, just kind of keeping an eye out
Sure.
for any immediate danger.
So yeah, Mona kind
That's
of
what I was thinking.
puts her hand on your shoulder because as she looks through the eyes of the raven, her vision does not work. It blacks out a bit. So I'm assuming that you're kind of intermittently going in between visions just to kind of keep pace. And you do see that the wolf is making progress off towards the west. It's hard to keep track of. This wolf seems very familiar with this terrain and is moving very quickly. Luckily, he's also leaving very noticeable track behind him as he goes. So Hauke, it is no problem for you to follow that track. Mona, go ahead and give me a perception check. Yeah, so manages to, every once in a while, like the snow just gets a little bit better, the better of you, but you do manage to keep track of the wolf, and it's just moving off to the west. You don't see much of anything else in the area.
All right.
So as you all make your way, it seems to be quite the distance as you keep moving. It takes you, I'd say, because he is forging a path for you through the snow, and luckily for you, the weather does seem to hold out for you again. You're able to move at about the same rate you were moving at with Edgar's contraption yesterday. Very large wolf just barreling through this snow for you. Still not easy, but not difficult. Between Hawke's expertise and this path, you're able to keep moving. But it takes you almost the entire day. Taking a break here and there to grab some food, which I assume you take a break long enough to at least fill up at lunchtime. If you've ever walked through deep snow, you know it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And yeah, and as the day wanes, you see ahead of you, so you see ahead of you a shape starting to form in the distance. And it looks like a large building of some sort.
Okay.
Jutting up out of the vast tundra, there's this towering edifice. And as you get closer and closer to it, you see that it is made itself out of ice. The dome structure is easily 3 times the height and width of any of the buildings that you just left behind, which I will note is not a tall feat. No pun intended. Considering Dugan's hole was barely standing, the best. The best you can tell. But as you approach, you do see that there is your wolf friend kind of crouched in the snow about 500 feet away from this hut.
All right.
Do you guys approach the wolf?
Yes.
So as you approach, he's crouched down, and he just looks back at you. Oh, we're in luck. We're in luck our guy isn't in. This will be easy. So, and as you look ahead, you can see there are 3 massive entrances right next to each other, in this dome that's in front of you, and
So kind of like an igloo with 3 big holes in it.
yeah, it's almost like an igloo. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking for and seeing because in the book there's a beautiful picture of it, and I'm hoping that they have that picture here too. So give me just 1 second. Yeah, here it is. So this, what you guys see.
Ah,
Oh wow.
that's ominous.
Ooh.
So as
Joy.
as you crouch there, the wolf just kind of like sniffs again. The children are through that center area there. Oh, watch your back.
You think?
Are there any defenses that we should be aware of that you know of that your master may have laid?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't rely on his smarts so much as his, punching, kicking.
I thought you said
kicking.
we wouldn't have to deal with him physically.
Right. That's why it should be safe to go in now because he's not here.
Oh, he's not. You failed to mention that he's not here.
I just said it.
Oh no, he said.
Right.
He said it.
I was changing my spells over.
No worries.
And also,
Were you building another flamethrower?
listen, my perception's a -1. I hear a
that's-
quarter of what's said at
yeah.
any given time.
You mentioned a door in the back,
Huh?
as opposed to going in through the big front door.
No, just the 3 entrances right there.
I'd like to try and get a read on him because
Absolutely.
that's in the words of the youth, sus.
Insight, please.
Insight, right?
All right, remember I'm old. All right.
Can I do an insight on him?
Yes,
See if
please. Yep.
he's being on the up and up. Hey, 16 down to 15.
So
Goodness.
he's not being completely honest with you. You can't exactly place what it is. You gather that everything that he has said about the giant not being a threat to you is accurate, however.
Okay. I'm not the best listener, but correct me if I'm wrong, Meena. The wolf did earlier say that there was a back door, and now he's changing his words. What else is he going to?
Somebody go ahead and roll me an intelligence check, please.
Nope.
Not I.
Not I, said the hawk.
Oh,
All right,
actually,
that'll be me. Just
Oh, no,
straight
yeah.
I was
intelligence.
gonna say I'm assuming it's going to be one of my 2 artificers.
Meena is smart.
Not that smart.
So Meena, you don't actually recall him ever saying anything about a back door.
A back door in Dugan's hole.
No, I
And-
swear I can.
And that's how I can assure you that you didn't hear it because one of those 2 would have made that joke. Yeah, to part the curtain, I never mentioned that there was a back door. There is no back door.
I do remember hearing sneaking in because I was like, "Is there a joke with sneaking in?"
Yes, he did
And
say that
then
yeah, he said that you could sneak in.
Oh, that's what he didn't say a back entrance. He said sneak in through the back,
He just said sneak in.
and I
He did not say
assumed
through
it
the
meant
back.
there was a back door.
I thought he said he knows of a hidden entrance or a secret entrance.
Nope, just said you could sneak in and get the kids out.
So, what are you not?
How do you
telling us?
propose we sneak in through a giant door?
I, I, I would recommend not clanking. That and well, the lack of giant in there is working on your favor, yeah?
Okay. So
And
there's
he's
no
looking
giant.
he's looking around and he's like, oh, I want to hurry before that giant does make his way back, though. Guy is a big guy, yeah, yeah.
There's no giant in there, but what
Ooh.
is in there?
The kids,
Is that an exhaustive list?
as far as I know.
As far as you know, is not good enough.
Have you been in there?
That's where I live. Yeah, I escaped from there.
Mona, is there anything in there that we're not going to want to find?
I don't know you.
I'm not talking to you, Mona.
Oh, sorry.
Mona, is there anything in there?
Are you talking to me?
Yes,
Mona.
Mona.
Oh, sorry. I was looking through my spell book. Sorry. What did you say?
What is it with you people and your spell books?
I don't have a spell book. I have a pouch of goodies.
I mean, my book.
We know you're a wizard. Can you tell us what? Is there anything in there that we're not going to want to find?
Is it close enough that I would be able to send my raven in?
You guys are about how far can your raven go?
Ooh, let me check the specifics on that.
Joe, do you know?
100
you
feet.
can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, technically, you can just give commands while it's within 100 feet of you.
It can go
True.
as long as it stays on the same plane. It can go as far as it can.
It just can't
But it can only communicate
with
with you within 100 feet.
All right. I mean, I guess I could try sending it in and see if anything suspicious is apparent.
Are those doors or are they just holes?
Just holds.
Okay.
I'm quite proud of you, Greg. You didn't say anything.
He's losing it.
All right.
I'm not the only one making jokes here.
I'm
Rob.
aware.
All right.
Don't worry. Next time I'll pick
I'm
up
a little
Kerrie.
worried about my raven. I'm a little worried about my raven being hurt. So can I tell it to come back in 1 minute
Absolutely.
and tell me if it finds anything?
Yep,
All
absolutely.
right. 1 minute.
Um,
No more, no less.
so as the raven flies off towards the this giant lodge, for lack of better terminology, and it ducks down. Which entrance are you sending it in?
Middle.
Middle. So as it ducks down, you see that it's very close passageway through here. Like it's frozen and choked with ice, and it gets dark and dark. And this is what they're reporting back to you after they get back. As they enter into the past 20, 30 feet into this entrance, it gets too dark for them to see.
Oh. All right. Well, it looks just like a regular tunnel, and then everything went black. So I didn't see anything outright suspicious.
Well, we can stand here dithering all day, or we can just go in.
Meena is right. I hate to say it because I feel like there's something
I'd say
bad
we
waiting
go
for us in there.
just in case this
There-
giant comes
Never
back.
hope we stand out here. We can prepare for nothing.
Let's go in.
So what's the plan?
We're going in.
You're going straight down. You're going right in that middle entrance.
Do they all lead to different places?
Should one of us stay outside? I mean, no. Actually, do we have a web method of communication with each other? No.
Well, Edgar, not only do not have communication, but also if the giant were to come back, do you want to be alone?
Okay, the children might need medical attention, so I will go inside. On the
You're an adventurer now.
I am a doctor,
Wear the label proudly.
There's nothing to be ashamed of. Now let's go.
Has a nice ring to it. Let's go.
All right. So, just to confirm again, middle entrance is your plan.
Yes.
I would say middle.
Yeah.
What is your marching order?
I'll go ahead.
I'll go right after him.
You gonna do a single file line?
I'm gonna go somewhere close to Hawk so that I can see where he steps, so I can make the same steps.
Sure.
Then I guess I'm the caboose.
All right.
I'll go third. You can walk next to me.
You're the caboose, but you do have an eye in the sky.
Yes.
Very true.
Right.
One moment.
God.
Here you.
Primeval awareness can detect so many things, but it can't detect giants. That's annoying. Aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead.
In all fairness, you don't need anything special to detect giants other than an ability to feel the ground.
There.
Can you all see on the map that I just gave you?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
More or
can't,
less.
but I don't know that anyone else watching can.
I know that people in the feed can now. Just allowed them to.
Some stuff should be abstracted, right?
Correct.
Damn.
Yes.
It should look like a T on its side, kind of.
Yes.
Mm.
Ooh, it's like a clone trooper helmet.
Yeah.
What do you
kinda.
see in the clouds? It is.
So, you are, when you see your tokens, you can zoom in on your tokens.
Mhm.
I will go ahead and in for our viewers.
Ooh, that zoomed in for us too.
Oh, did it? Cool. That's right.
I think so.
Yeah, well, yeah, if the sync client view actually works in this version.
Hey,
I'll try not to do it too often, because I know that sometimes you guys are actually looking at something. So yeah, as you approach this this passageway, it is choked with ice. You can see there above you there are icicles densely clustered around. Their points sharp as daggers.
So over here and over here are the
Right here
other two.
and right here are the two other entrances.
Okay.
Mm.
And that there's a solid wall to either side of us.
Yes. I just put you right in the entranceway because there's no more map to the right. So if you guys want to say you're 100 feet away from that, and then we can in, that's fine. If you want to do any scouting or anything before we dive directly into it.
I can scout ahead if need be.
You're gonna scout down.
I
the
can
middle
also.
passageway?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Oh, fun.
Unless you don't want to be stealthy.
Just run in
I'll be-
there,
ugh.
guns blazing.
So you don't want to be stealthy. Got it.
Yeah.
I'd like to try to be stealthy. I don't. Actually,
Yeah, why doesn't everyone go ahead and give me a stealth check?
my armor has something.
It gives you disadvantage on stealth checks.
No, it does not.
Oh, because you have to.
I am an artificer armorer.
Yep.
It does not give that.
Yep. I guarantee you, it's not going to much matter.
Well,
Edgar, are
I
you going to
might
give a stealth check?
yeah, I was trying to remanage my screen so that it wasn't all maps.
No worries.
And-
Oh wow. All right. So
Hey,
Nice.
If
One
you,
of us.
if you
You're
right
like-
click on a map, like if you right click on one of the maps and you want to save it for later, you can click minimize and it'll turn into a little bubble that you can move around.
oh, I wish I had known that before I got rid of every map.
and don't forget, if you open up your character sheet and double click on your token at the top right, it'll bring you back to whatever map your token is on.
Oh, perfect.
Ooh.
So
Coke.
this is amazing. Hawk, you are every step you take, you're shattering icicles on the ground, and you're just like wincing every time. Mona, you whatever he doesn't break, you're right there, breaking right beside him. And Edgar, you are so terrified of this that like you are heel to toe rolling your feet around icicles that are on the ground. Like you see a fragment of ice that might make noise and you kind of like skim around it, and Meena, you're just kind of like following right in his footsteps, and you two are silent. Unfortunately, there was a natural one in that group, which does count as
I'm
2
sorry.
failures towards a group stealth check. So overall, the group does definitely make some noise as it's moving down this hallway.
As I walk, I'm just like, shit, shit, shit.
Stop saying shit.
I'm sorry. I'm nervous.
Shit, you're right. I'm sorry.
You guys should have control over your tokens, so you can. Oh wow, you just sprinted right up there, huh?
Oh.
Let's move you back just a little bit. So as you
Whee!
make your way out into
Yeah.
this, I'm trying to click on something and it keeps making me click on something else. As you make your way into this large room, you see to the left of you, there's an oval chamber with high walls of glittering ice in front of you. The frozen, hacked up corpse of a frost giant lies on the floor, entombed in translucent ice, and that's what you see over here. And looming next to that frost giant's corpse
I knew I didn't trust this son of a bitch.
is a mammoth.
Ooh.
Oh.
The mammoth
Great.
stares down at you with hate in its eyes. You are to blame for all of this. And I need everyone to
don't think
roll
so.
initiative.
Well,
Well,
Cool.
it was nice knowing you guys.
going last.
Norsu.
Norse.
That's a great name.
Mona,
Nice. Yes,
you are up first.
I see that. Let me.
He's neither a season
Let me take-
nor Sue.
You see behind this woolly mammoth, clearly awakened woolly mammoth, there is a throne of ice carved out of a circular dais.
Interesting.
But, you know, in front of
sorry,
that, there's
how
a
did-
giant woolly mammoth glaring at you and accusing you of something.
Although somehow she is very much more enamored by the throne of ice.
I'm just shifting
I
the
forget,
mammoth a
how
little
do-
bit because it drives me nuts when things aren't directly on their squares. Continue.
I forget. How do we measure distance?
If you right
on
click
here?
and left, if you hold down the right and left mouse button at the same time and drag, it'll create an arrow.
Oh, I see. All right. I am frantically flipping through my tome behind the group right now. I'm panicking a little bit.
Yeah, I can imagine that. You have this behemoth of a mammoth, just red eyes glaring at you.
Where?
That's great.
Oh, sorry. I couldn't find the tab. Okay. I. Let's I hate to be a stereotype, but I'm a little shaken right now. Let's open up this bad boy with an Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast. Go for it.
All right.
Roll, roll that attack.
Sorry,
Look,
so I
if you're
double
a
click the name
warlock
and then I
and
do
you
the
don't
damage.
take Eldritch Blast, then what are you even doing?
So what you're gonna do is go
True.
into your abilities.
Yep.
Or sorry, not your abilities, your actions.
Actions.
Click on the magnifying glass next to Eldritch Blast.
Yep.
Drag that thing that says ranged +5 onto the mammoth.
Okay.
That is a hit.
Ooh, baby.
Unless its AC is much
So-
higher than... Yeah, it's a hit. So now what you're going to do is in that same area, see where it says 1d10 force damage, or force? Drag that onto the mammoth.
Yes. All right. Eldritch Blast.
8 points of damage. So...
Ooh, there's the sound.
It's purple.
So this, you hear this rustling from behind you guys, and this glittery, sparkly burst of energy just erupts from Mona's hand and streaks through the air and strikes the mammoth in the side, and it roars in pain.
Oh, that's good.
And I go, sorry.
So that was your, I believe Eldritch Blast is a bonus action, if I'm remembering correctly.
Is it?
Aren't you opening? Thank you. No, that's an action. I'm sorry. I am misremembering.
Yeah, okay.
So you have your bonus action and move left if you would like.
I'm gonna stay back here.
That is fair. All right. Then with that, we'll move on to Hawk's turn.
All right.
Just kill it.
I'm first gonna cast Hunt. Wait a minute. No, I am going to cast Zephyr Strike.
Interesting.
Self. Oh, that
No,
is
but there's mark?
will apply. Cool. Drag onto new effect target. Lord. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm gonna take a shot at the thing.
Perfect.
Yep.
So Hawk draws an arrow from his quiver, takes aim, and
Yeah, we can see if this does it.
ooh,
Actually, I do have an advantage on it because of the spell.
excellent. So go ahead and roll it one more time.
I just was like, it gives you advantage on the cool.
And I will install the fumble table for next week. I forgot to do it this week, so you're or
Great.
2 weeks from now. Sorry.
Nice.
I'd love to get another.
Wow.
There we go.
Wow.
Wow, opposite ends of the
A
spectrum.
1 to
Good
a
job.
20. Very nice. So that is a critical hit. Go ahead and roll that damage on it.
Roll
I have
that.
to get used to the sound effects. All right, let's see if it does it automatically. Ooh, yeah,
Yeah,
there
it
we go.
does. Yeah, it should. Very nice. So yeah, 15 points of damage. Is this
Force
your
damage.
force damage? So this is your dimensional one, right?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
It's part of the Zephyr Strike. So once before the spell ends, you can give yourself advantage on one attack roll, which I did. That attack deals an extra 1d8 force damage on a hit. Whether you hit or miss, your walking speed increases by 30 feet until the end of the turn.
Wow. So you guys watch as this arrow, almost preternaturally fast, flies through the air and slams into the woolly mammoth right in the chest as it rears back its head, and it roars as it almost looks like it takes a step back from it. Not quite though. And would you like to use some of that insane movement? Jesus Christ.
65 movement speed.
All right, so cool. Any bonus actions? Or bonus action was casting that spell, so you're tapped.
Yeah.
All right, Edgar.
I'm going to make a mental note of what I just saw happen and his bow, and I'm just kind of dumbfounded for a second. I'm like, oh shit, I should be doing something. And I reach into my pouch and I pull out one of those exploding vials, and I pour a mixture of components into it. And can I make a nature check and take a look at Norsu and see if I can spot any sort of anatomical points on his body that might be more susceptible to hits? This is more for flavor than anything. I'm not like trying to get a bonus for myself.
Yeah. So you take a moment. We can actually even forgo dice rolls for that. Then, yeah, you take a moment and you feel fairly confident in a point that you can aim at.
All right, then I'm going to aim for that point with this vial, and I'm going to lob it at him, casting Fairy Fire on him.
It fails its saving throw. So you watch as this elephant, this giant mammoth. What color is your Fairy Fire?
This one is going to be a very bright green, right on the spot that it's most vulnerable.
Perfect. So as it hits, you guys watch as this fairy fire erupts, and it actually does coat the entire mammoth, but you do notice that there is like almost like a crosshair-shaped dot right where Edgar managed to beat it with this thing,
Nice.
leading the way. And fairy fire, if I am not mistaken, will give others advantage. Correct?
Advantage.
So let me just go ahead and add that to it.
And I'm going to very bravely
Run away.
go behind Meena.
Brave, he turned his tail and fled.
Yes, exactly that.
All right. It is now the mammoth's turn. And it would have charged at your brave leaders who are in the lead, but unfortunately they seem to have vamoosed, as it were. So it is going to lower its head, and it charges. And it's going to come to there.
Oh.
And it is going to attack. It's going to go after Meena because you seem the meatier of targets with your armor.
It was going for me, Meena, but you were in between us.
Does a 23 hits, correct?
Yeah, yes, it does.
All right, so it's going to deal 20 points of damage to you. And I need you to make a strength saving throw for me, please.
Oh, I didn't mean to have advantage on that.
It's fine. I'm going to give it to you. So you managed to keep your feet. And I will say, actually, it does knock you back, and this is my penalty for you rolling an advantage when you shouldn't have. It knocks you back.
Turn, not first.
Knocks you back 5 feet. But you managed to keep your feet under you. And Meena, it is now your turn.
Can I still see the crosshairs?
Yes.
Am I at an okay angle to try and hit the crosshairs, or should I
Sure.
move over?
I mean, it's pretty head on to you, seeing how it just charged you and hit you with its tusks really hard.
Well, then I'm going to move over to here.
Yep.
And I'm going to firebolt the spot.
Sure. Give me that attack. You're still on advantage for some. Oh, I know it's an advantage.
He had fairy fire.
Yep,
that's why
that's
I was
why.
prepping.
Yep. Yeah, 18. That's a hit.
Oh.
8 points of damage. Nice. You are noticing you guys are doing some damage to it, but not as much as you would like, considering how much damage it just did to you.
Yeah.
Mona.
Interesting. All right. Can we move squares diagonally?
Yes, you can. I will note that if you move outside of his right 5 foot space that he's threatening, he would be able to take a attack of opportunity against you. He will not necessarily take it, but it is an option.
Okay. I'm going to cast another Eldritch Blast.
Sure. So that's going to actually just be a straight attack because you are base to base with it. So it would normally be a disadvantage, but because of Fairy Fire, we grant you advantage, which nullifies it down to just a straight attack.
Okay.
So, yeah. Perfect. That is
Did I do that right?
You didn't roll it on it, but I'm almost positive that is a hit. Yeah, that's a hit.
Oh, wait, sorry. Then roll the damage on the actual...
Yeah.
Flesh.
Drop the damage right onto the
Yep,
mammoth.
okay.
So 5 points of damage. It's, again, like, this attack hits it, and it does some damage, but this thing barely looks phased at this point.
I'm in a panic. I'm going to try to move away from it.
Sure.
All right.
So luckily for you, you seem to duck behind some of the icicles that made your way in, because you guys are right at the entrance to this, and you have some cover right nearby, and this thing is not seeing straight, it looks like. It is pissed off. And while it looks like it might have tried to take an attack at you, it wasn't it wasn't a good one. Hawk, you are up.
Oh boy. All right. Save that for later. All right. I'm gonna draw an arrow and have it start warping in and out of reality.
Sure.
Casual.
As you do.
As I do.
As one does.
Question. Does it have to take the form of an arrow, or can it just take the form of something and just do the damage of an arrow? For flavor.
Yeah, I'd say you can take a form of something else. That's fine for flavor.
Shoot him
Okay,
with
it's going to take the form of a frying pan. To appease.
I was going to say, is this a Coraline special?
Yes. 100%. Yeah. Oof. No, that's a hit. No. I'll take a hit.
Yeah, that is a hit. And it deals 13 points of damage to it as a frying pan flies off of this bow and just slams into the back of this mammoth. You've seemed to start putting some damage onto it, but it is not yet bloodied.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Did it start as a frying pan and then as it warped in and out of reality at one point?
That is
it
very
started
intense
as an
music.
arrow and it became a frying pan at one point and then hit the...
Yeah, I would say that that's probably accurate. It was an arrow, then it was a frying pan, then it was a chicken at one point, and then it was back to a frying pan, and it smacked into it.
and it was some fried chicken.
Yep. And I'm going to shout out to it. Over here, you giant piece of dinner. And I'm going to run.
Bravely run away.
Run away.
Oh, it's weird. I can actually see you, like, your individual movements on your token. It doesn't just wait until you're done moving.
I'm going to move so I'm still within line of sight of it, but definitely out of range.
Sure.
How smart you are.
All right, Edgar, that is you.
Does anybody have any idea of what it's accusing us of?
Nope.
No.
Great.
Probably freezing its master.
I am going to take a couple steps back, and I realized that I wasn't using one of my class features
Nice.
At any point. So at the end of a short rest, I'm supposed to create a mystery potion.
Yep.
Do you mind if I just roll that now
Yeah,
and
I was
figure it
gonna
out?
say, go ahead and roll that now. Yep.
It's a 4, and I will look that up at the end of my turn.
Sure.
I'm going to cast Healing Word on Mona. I'm going to just not even put it in a sling. I'm just going to take one of my health potion splash vials and just throw it at the back of her head.
Mona
Not
or
Mona or
Am I
Meena?
hurt?
Meena.
Meena?
Not Mona. Meena.
Thank you.
I was like, thank you.
So Meena,
I'm just gonna.
Meena,
I'm just
you
gonna,
get
actually. I walk as I walk by her. I'm just gonna slap it against her back and just keep on running.
So Meena, you feel like glass break on your back, and you're about to be like, "Hey," and then you feel better. And how much better does she feel?
Let me find it. Healing word. Okay, and I can drop that right on her, right?
Yes.
If you drag the plus onto that token, on her token, yeah.
Okay. Four.
Oh,
Four
this
whole
is-
man.
This is very fitting. You got a potion of boldness.
Oh,
I don't know what that does.
The drinker can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to every attack roll and saving throw they make for the next minute. So as soon as you drink it, you roll that d4
Wow.
and you add that to every one of those rolls for the next minute.
Automatic bless.
Yeah.
Is healing word a bonus action?
Yes.
And I'm gonna run some more.
You use your action. Noted.
Hooray!
It is now Norsu's turn. And
Don't hit me again, I'll be dead.
turns and charges
Oh.
over here. And as it hits here, it kind of squeezes through. And it doesn't quite fit, but it's breaking through the ice a little bit, and you don't feel like you will be safe for much longer, Hawk. Meena, you're feeling a little better.
Yeah, a little bit. Just, a little bit. Yeah, so I'm gonna firebolt him again. I can from here, right? Yes.
You should be able. Nice. Crit with the firebolt.
Woo!
Hell yeah.
Edgar, you've taken no damage, correct?
I have taken no damage.
Good to know.
I am as far from damage as I can
So
possibly.
11 points of damage is this firebolt. Like, you watch it, it looks like it's about to miss, and then it actually, like, recurves and hits directly in that spot that Edgar had pointed out, and this thing screams in pain, and it actually seems to do a bit more damage than you were expecting this time. And this
Hell
thing is
yeah.
starting to look a bit rough. Mona, that is you. Unless, Meena, did you have any movement or bonus that you would like to take?
No, I'm gonna stay back here, thanks.
Yeah, that seems fair.
sorry. Trying to figure something out. Flipping through my spell book.
Eldritch Blast, maybe?
It's working so far.
You can drop
Mhm.
dark on us.
We saw what happened last time. I am going to move. Sorry, each token is
Each spot is 5 squares. Or 5 feet, sorry.
5 squares.
Yeah, 5 feet.
Right.
Each square is 5 squares.
It's getting
3,
late.
4,
Yeah,
5.
it's
I'm gonna
getting
move
late.
here,
Sure.
and I'm gonna cast Eldritch Blast, Eldritch
Excellent.
Baja Blast,
Sweet.
and I yell out, "Hawk, no!"
So, again, this glittery purple thing streaks out from Mona's hand and slams into this mammoth. Go ahead and roll that damage.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
7 points of damage to it. It is starting to look very rough at this point. It's still
Is
standing, but it's not happy about it.
Is
Never mind.
prestidigitation a bonus action?
Let's
Nope.
see. It is not. It is an action.
Nope.
Action.
All right. I throw my hands in the air and go, ah!
All right, Hawk.
That's all I
You have a very angry-looking mammoth staring you down.
Oh, I know. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna summon the power of the multiverse and shoot it again.
All right.
Casual.
So casual.
You're the person who should be trapped in a corner. You'll be fine.
Oh yeah.
Is this another frying pan one?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, lifts up your bow again, and this time you kind of aim it high and you shoot up, And as it falls back down is when it turns back into the frying pan and it slams right on the top of this thing's head. And you just hear the gong. And he's not looking happy with life.
I'm gonna shout
he
again.
was.
Come on, fat ass, you can make it through that.
So there would have been some like extra good reverberation because elephants and mammoths have a hollow spot right in the center of their skull.
I was about to ask why you know that, and then I remember what you do for a living. Edgar, you're up.
It's
Greg's nature skill is very high.
Yeah, I'm gonna just stay in range, in
Sure.
view range as much as I can from them.
Absolutely, yep.
Once I get to the sort of mouth of this place, do I see the wolf?
You can go ahead and give me a perception check if you'd like to try. Well, I'll give you this. You can barely see more than 50 feet away from the hut. If you would like to take your bonus action to make a perception check, I will allow that.
I would like to do that.
Go for it. You are not seeing any hint.
Vanquish from the pit. I am going to turn around and head 25 feet this way,
Yep.
and I can't see the mammoth. I'm going to look at Meena. I'm going to say, take this, and I'm going to pull the mystery potion, the potion of boldness out of my bag, and I'm going to toss it to her.
All right, I'll allow that. Allow that as an interact with object. It is now the mammoth's turn.
Oh, actually, could I just double move and hand it to her as I walk by, or as I walk up next to her? Okay. I want to have some handle on the situation.
Sure. So, Hawk, I do hate to inform you that you miscalculated your distance. You had to stay away from him just a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
He manages to break through the ice and get up to you. However, I will say that because he was breaking through the ice, he does eat up a lot of his energy, and I'm going to make him roll at disadvantage.
Mm.
It's fair.
Lower than a 5. That was lower than a 5.
And he just swings his tusks at you, and you kind of like turn sideways and be like, "Oopsie, math is not my strong suit. Okay."
No, I did that intentionally.
Meena, you're up.
All right. Well, son of a bitch, you can't see him now.
I figured if I go too far, he'll turn around and charge the others, so
Fair enough.
gotta give him some chance.
Where was I? No, I was right here.
Although no one can see him now.
I can't get to a place where I can see him.
That's you saying that like that's a bad thing.
It is. I can't shoot him.
But he can't control you.
Let's see. I guess I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
All right.
Nice. That's a little better.
There you go. You're feeling a little bit less Walking Dead.
Yes, and I'm going to move up to here.
All right.
Beautiful.
Well, Mona, that is you.
All right, I'm going to move here. I'm getting a little worried about Hawk.
Sure.
If I send my Raven to try to disorient the mammoth, is that a full action?
No, I'll give that to you just as kind of a free action. I'm just looking up
All right.
what the official rules on that Raven are, if it can do things like that.
It could do like help action and things like that.
Can it do help action?
Yes. Look,
Yeah.
my homebrew.
Yeah.
Because I did not see the official one.
It says on D&D Beyond, it just says it always obeys your commands.
You roll initiative for the Raven and control how it acts. So actually, you should be. So let's for this game. I'm just gonna say that it's going to act on your initiative, and I might just keep it that way. But it actually
It's easiest.
it actually acts as if it's a creature. So I need to get stats for you for Raven.
Oh.
So it can actually attack and everything.
Yeah, what is it?
Raven, here we go. I am sharing this with you now, Mona.
Thank you.
Get it?
Oh, nice.
Go.
Yes, I did.
There is your Raven.
Cool.
And yes, it does have 1 hit point.
As ravens do.
Yep.
I can get
Hey,
a
if
new one.
something
Don't worry.
if something kills it.
I know a guy.
And if it takes 2 points of damage, it is dead.
Oh, no.
Like dead.
No, if it takes 1 point of damage, it's dead. It's a familiar.
No.
No, it's a familiar. Dropping to 0.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. It poops.
I know a Raven guy. All right. I think I would still like to give it a command to kind of fly in the eyes and try to distract
So it's
it.
going to use its action to do the help action, which you've already got advantage against it. But go ahead and roll attack, and let's see what happens, and I'll make a judgment call.
Just regular.
You're attacking with Eldritch Blast again? What's your plan?
Oh yeah, I was going to.
Yeah, go ahead and attack. It should automatically give
Right.
you advantage anyways, because Fairy Fire is still on there. Yeah. So, yep. That,
I like that you were like, you're doing Eldritch Blast, right?
That is a hit.
All right, cool.
So again, just like you started off like nice. You start off like hesitantly attacking with these Eldritch Blasts, and at this point you're like, just like right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand.
I'm like, yeah.
And you notice that like this time, as the Eldritch Blast gets close, the Raven like ducks down at the last minute and pecks, and it manages to like get the mammoth to tilt his head just at the right angle, and it hits a soft spot and does a little bit of extra damage.
Yes.
Nice.
Hauke, you are up. It's
All right, I'm gonna cast Zephyr Strike on myself again.
Sure.
Are you having as free action to pull out a different weapon?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna stab it.
Stabby.
Yeah, the only rules like that I change are instead of it being a full action to drink potions yourself, it is only a bonus action to drink a potion yourself, but to feed it to someone else, it is still a full action. That's the only change on item interactions that I do, really. There you go, 24. That's a hit.
Stab and a little bit extra force damage into that. And then I am going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65.
All right. Does Zephyr Strike protect you against attack of opportunities?
Yep.
It does.
You move like the wind until the spell ends. Your movement does not provoke opportunity attacks, and then the force damage on one attack.
Very nice.
It's an amazing spell.
So you watch as Hawke
if you're still watching.
starts sprinting past the mammoth and just slashes his scimitar across its side as he goes, and it slashes, but at the same time, like, you watch bruising erupt on this thing, and it is barely on its feet. Edgar, you are up.
All right. Seeing that these three sort of have the mammoth handled, I'm going to remember that we're here to find some missing and possibly injured children. So I'm going to run over to there.
Sure.
Using 2 pieces of movement.
Sure.
And that's going to be, and I'm going to start making my way towards this passageway.
Perfect.
Artie's gonna go with him, actually.
Excellent. Yep, that's right. I forgot. I'll have to get you a token for your. Or your fox, sorry. Actually, do you want a token for your fox? We'll talk about it
Sure.
afterwards. All right, it is now the mammoth's turn. And let's see here.
Oh, good.
Come out, wherever you are.
It's stumbling through, and it makes it just too far away from you to make an attack. Because somehow a mammoth doesn't have a reach attack. You know
Well,
what?
they're
It's pissed
huge.
off enough that it's going to go ahead and it'll use its action to actually do a double movement and make it up to you. Yeah.
Okay.
But it does not make any actions at that point. Meena, you are up.
Alrighty.
This thing is bleeding. Its left eye is swollen. It is still crazed and angry and
Well,
cursing you.
I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do just like Mona. And I'm just going to keep using the same one.
Yep.
I'm firebolting.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That is a hit.
Nice little hit. Oh, for crying.
So this one just kind of like glances off its fur and singes it, and it's still like, you watch though, even that little bit of damage, like its knee starts to buckle a little bit. Mona.
Eldritch Blast and baby, you got this.
Mm,
Not too forward.
I'm scared. I'm scared to kill him. Is it just me?
Yep.
He's a sentient.
All right.
We don't.
All right. As everybody's yelling at me to do Eldritch Blast, I very scatterbrainedly just do it. So Eldritch
Sure.
Blast.
Eldritch Blast.
Kill it.
Eldritch
Kill
Blast.
That is a hit.
All right.
And you dropped a critical fail.
And as you slam your Eldritch Blast into this thing's chest one last time, it heaves out a sigh at its last breath, and its knees buckle, and it collapses to the
God.
ground. Its last breath leaving it as it slumps down next to the corpse of his master.
Oh, darn. All right, let's find the kids.
Now that we're it's down. Can we talk for a second? I know that we're trying to find some children. Can we talk for a second about what in the Nine Hells was it saying to us about it's our fault? Because
My guess is it doesn't know who froze its master, and we were the first unknowns to show up.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah,
Edgar, do you have a?
been doing anything in this area prior to this? Can I do a nature check to see if I can get an estimate on how long the frozen giant has been here?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
While he's doing that, I'm going to just kind of dash around trying to find the kids.
He's like the wind. Should have been a bard, man.
13. So it's hard to tell for sure. It's frozen solid at this point. But it's more than a few weeks from the looks of it.
Okay. That narrows things down a bit.
Curious.
During that fight, I went to the mouth of the sort of fortress we're in, and I couldn't find the wolf that led us here. Also, this giant, this wasn't recent. This giant has been like this for a couple weeks, most likely.
So it was
No, I
lying.
don't like that.
So the wolf definitely lied to us. This wasn't something that just happened.
Oh,
And I'm guessing that mammoth has been there for a bit.
that's I'm
worried about the kids then.
That's a good point.
Let's see if we can find the kids.
They may not be here.
Yeah, we should probably get moving.
Yep.
So
Note on time, by the way,
What
Rob.
is your search pattern? Yep, I'm keeping an eye on it. What is your plan to search?
Sprint around as fast as I can at 70 feet.
So you're gonna stay within this area first, in this this entrance that you went through.
Yeah, just kind of like run up, see what's up here.
Sure. So I'm going to give you the quick version of it. In fact, here's your token. So I'm going to drop you in each individual. So as you duck into this room, you see there is a foul stench of decay hits your nose as soon as you walk in. There's a frozen corpse of a whale in here that has been crudely butchered. There is a blade the shape of a paring knife alongside it, but it's about the size of a long sword. As you duck back into this room, you see that there is a large, massive table hewn in a single block of ice. It's surrounded by chairs, also made of ice. The chairs are chipped and cracked, and they are definitely sized for giants. As you duck all the way over here, it's 11:15. I'm trying to wrap things up quickly, guys.
Hey.
We can barely see him as he runs.
The only furniture in this cavernous chamber is a huge fur bedroll. The fur is matted and musty. As you continue on into this other room, you find there are many barrels in there that if you crack one open, you find contains whale oil. And there is a giant hole in the floor here.
What is this, Dishonored?
Is that Dugan's hole?
Is that? Oh, Greg, you're so much a joke.
So that is what you find in here.
Oh, is the giant's name Dugan?
If you would like to do any further checks on any of the things I just told you, you can go ahead and roll that. Is anybody else trying to?
Can I get?
I was going to try and see what I can find in this room, but I wasn't going to leave this room.
Just this
I'm
room,
gonna shout out
the center room.
Yeah.
Sure.
If Edgar has not been following me, I was going to shout out to him. Edgar, do you have any vials, flasks?
That's a very silly question. I have that's
spare.
what I carry is vials and flasks. How many? What volume?
I'll take 3 if you have it.
I have many more than 3. What volume? You need to be specific. And do you want a vial or do you want a flask?
A pint each.
That
Or,
is
yeah.
a larger volume than I carry. I am not a large man.
Like health potion size.
That I can do. Okay. A pint of health potion.
Yeah.
And we lost Greg.
Potion are you carrying?
So, Greg,
So
since you were looking around in that room, the throne you noticed has a large rune in it.
I am going to write down that rune and
Give
see if I can do
Give me an Arcana check.
an Arcana check. I think I'm okay at those.
While he's doing that, I'm going to fill
Flasks
the
with
3 vials with whale oil.
noted. 20. Yeah. So you this rune is a giant rune that says ice.
Ooh.
That clears up nothing for me.
Yes.
So there's a
Yes.
There's
Ice
a giant
in
throne.
this room made entirely of ice.
Now I promise. There's no way to say this is a DM without saying it as a DM. So are you going to sit in the throne?
I
I mean,
actually was.
I don't sit in it. I do climb up onto it to get a better look at the rune. So I'm standing on the seat of it, but I'm not sitting on it. I'm not intentionally sitting.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, I
I'm
got
just-
you.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that'll be enough. I gave a 50-50 chance of whether or not that'll qualify. Um, so as you step up onto it to get a better look at it, because you're like, wow, this is really, really well done. You step onto it and you're like, huh, from this throne, I can summon a blizzard.
That's. I'm used to sparks of genius and insight, but that one seems like an odd leap to make. Or is it?
You guys just watch as Edgar's brain either stops or goes into hyperdrive at the moment. You're not really sure which. As he is doing that, would anyone else like to search anywhere else? Of note, the room up here, and I'll move Meena's token up there just to show you guys. When you were up there, Hawk, you did notice that there was an exit, which was the northernmost entrance to the.
Is there a
whole area
limit on
looks like a
where I
spaceship.
can summon the blizzard? Is it centered on this spot, or is it?
Yes, it would appear to be centered on this spot, and you feel like you can make it extend for about a mile in all directions.
Okay.
I was going to do an Arcana check on the throne, but I think
You sussed out everything I just said.
yeah. Okay, good. Just making sure.
Yep.
Can I get some of the skin off the?
Woolly mammoth? Of course you do.
I have leather workers' tools.
Go ahead and roll me a nature check, and I will find out what you find afterwards. Find that.
That's not bad.
There we go. Got it. Let's see here.
My inventory.
All right. 14. It's not bad. With a 14, yeah. Oh, so you're trying to go for the hide, you said?
Mm-hmm.
So as you start to like carve it, you're like, yeah, I got this. And then as you start to peel it up, it just kind of shreds in your hand, and you're like, I don't got this. Unfortunately, you're not able to get anything out of it.
Dang it. All right. That's fair.
So I will point out from you now know where the northernmost entrance and where the center entrance goes.
All right.
And Hawk, go ahead and take 3 vials of whale fat. Put it in your inventory.
I already added it.
Beautiful.
Makes starting fires easier.
What would you like to do? Are you going to search any further, or are you going to? What's the plan?
I was gonna say we call it there, but
Once the throne's been sorted out, and if we sort of do we reconvene in the center chamber?
Yeah, I would say everyone reconvenes in the center chamber.
So
That's where we'll pick up.
So that actually seems like a great spot. So as you all reconvene in the center, and I will state that Hawk, you know from your hurried explorations that the northern passage has been explored, the middle passage has been explored, which leaves only the southern passage to explore, if the children exist as you have been told that they exist. So
what was this, by the way? Just a hole?
there's a hole in the ground. There's a giant hole in the ground.
it belongs to Dugan.
Did you want to investigate that? We can do that real quick.
We'll do that. We'll do it next time.
So, and you guys are looking at possibly not coming back with the children at this point, or maybe the children never existed. You're not too sure. But that is where we are going to leave it off for this week after defeating a mammoth and not freezing to death on multiple occasions, and befriending a giant wolf? We'll find out next time. So this is going to be a bi-weekly live stream. So the next time we will see you again is going to be 2 Wednesdays from now, and we will start a little bit more promptly at 8 p.m. We had some technical things to get out of the way that I figured out at this point. I am hoping this next time to also be streaming on Mastermind Adventures Facebook page as well, if you want to join us there. If not, please come back to MacPherson's Lair and join us here for the next case of Cold Case Files. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.